What is going on, everybody? This is Penn, and welcome back to the channel. This remote role is always hiring. So, I'm going to discuss it to you. Imagine you have a big house with lots of rooms, your kitchen, your study, your garage, and maybe even a safe where you keep your valuables. Now, not everyone should be able to walk into every room. Your grandkids might be allowed in the kitchen to help make cookies, but they shouldn't be able to open the safe. That's where identity and access management, or IAM for short, comes in. First, we need to know who is trying to get in. That's called identity. It's like when someone says, "Hi, I'm Joe," and you check their name tag or ID. In the digital world, that's your username or your email address. The system needs to know who you are before it lets you in. Next, you have to prove you really are Joe. That's authentication. You might need to type in a password like a secret code or only you know. But even better, some systems now ask for a second thing, like a code sent to your phone or a fingerprint scan. That's called multi factor authentication. And it makes it much harder for someone else to pretend to be you. Now, once the system knows it's really you, it will then ask, okay, what are you allowed to do? That's the authorization part. So that's basically saying, Joe, you can use the kitchen, but you can't open a safe. This is done by giving people roles like family members or guests, and each role has certain permissions. So even if you're logged in, you can't do things you're not supposed to. Now there's the audit, which is like having a security camera. It keeps a record of who came in, when they came in, and what they did. If something strange happens, like someone trying to open a safe at 3 a.m., the log will show it and you can check what went wrong. It helps make sure everything is working right and keeps everyone honest. So, in short, identity and access management, or IM, is a smart security system for your digital life. It makes sure only the right people get in and they can only do what they're supposed to. And it keeps a record of everything. So if something goes wrong, you can figure out what happened. It's not just for big companies, it's how your bank, your email, and even your smart TV stay safe. All right. And that's generally the introduction for this. Now we're going to get into a little bit of the presentation here. What is going on, everybody? All right, so this is Indeed, and you notice that I have remote in the search. Indeed is free to use. You don't need to sign in as an employer or things like that or make an official account. And I just have IM, once again, that's identity and access management. And hopefully, with that introduction, you know a little bit more about it than you did coming into this video. But more importantly, I just want to get into some of these jobs that's out here. So, as you know, with all these major tech companies laying off, and then what the government is doing with the shutdown, federal employees laying off, a lot of people are out of work. And there isn't just a lot of stability that's out here as it used to be, especially in the government space, right? Now, the good thing about this is that cybersecurity is always going to be a need and not a want. The bad thing is that people are out of work and they got screwed over in this economy. I have a solution for you, something that you can look into and start to get your mind prepped for it. So there's different jobs in identity access management. The more popular ones are going to be analyst roles and engineer roles, and some of the consultant and architect roles or specialists, those are more on a higher pay scale. So I have something from CrowdStrike. Now I want you to look at this. It's paying 100,000 to 155,000 a year. That's very nice, especially in this current economy. Now, this is a on-call type of job. It's remote. So what that means is that they're going to have you on an on-call rotation. But some of the things you got the benefits here, right? And it gets into the things. So what you'll do, you don't want to get discouraged when it comes to these job descriptions, most of these job descriptions are created by HR to remain in compliance with the job postings and what they have to do for the company. A lot of these job descriptions are generated by artificial intelligence. They may copy and paste from other jobs, or they may just use AI just to quickly get it out there. It may not even be accurate in terms of what you would do on a day to day basis. Just keep that in mind. All right. So, what you'll do is these, and you don't even have to meet all of these bullet points. You can meet 20%, you can meet 10%, 30. I say if you meet at least one bullet point, you should be applying to a job. You let them tell you no at the interview. You don't tell yourself no. You don't potentially block your blessings of a major life-changing opportunity all because you think you're supposed to be a unicorn or you're supposed to be a know-it-all. That's not how it works in this business. All right. Now, they say what you need. And this is going to be like their bare minimum requirements. They're mentioned like relevant certifications or anything preferred, yada, yada, yada. You can pause the video to see if you understand some of these concepts. Now, they have bonus points and that won't be counted against you. Here's the cool part about this. Within the first 30 days, you're going to complete onboarding with HR, get their environment set up, take on some tickets that don't require a lot of subject matter expertise, meaning that they're going to walk you through step by step to make sure you understand their environment as a identity and access management engineer. You're going to take on 3 story points. All work committed has tests, and then you're going to complete IM specific courses. So they have training set up at these companies, even at the engineer level, to where you're going to be onboarded with some knowledge coming in, but they're not just going to like leave you hanging and just have you work independently because it costs money to hire people, right? And it also costs money to fire somebody because these companies spend a lot of money to make sure that their cybersecurity is in place so that you don't get ransomware attacks or potential insider threats. And IM is all about making sure that the right people have access to things at the right time. So, for example, you don't want someone in human resources to have access to the, let's say, the vice president files, or someone that happens to be a janitor to have access to the company's quarterly financial reports. So with a identity and access management solution at your organization, what it promises and what it guarantees is that everyone is going to have the bare minimum access to do their job and not have access to things that they don't have no business in. All right. That's just to keep it a buck with you. Okay. So, but look at the first 30 days. New hire maintains availability during core business hours and effectively communicates issues ahead of time. So, they're not expecting you to know everything, even as an engineer. They're not. The job description just have things that's in place that you're probably going to be tackling or going to be working on as you build up your ticket, as you build up your confidence, as you ask questions, and you bring something to the table to where they can work with you. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. This isn't rocket science. This isn't anything that you can't do. I'm doing it. I'm successful at it. And there's plenty of other people that's successful at it as well. And it's just one of those things to where you look at the 60 days, it's building it up, taking on more tickets and bugs. And then by 90 days, you're on an on-call rotation. They figured that you got the hang of things. You're participating in technical design. Um, you're doing presentations for the company. And with 6 months, you should have a pretty fair idea of what's going on in the day to day. And then by a year, CrowdStrike should trust you to be a part of an interview panel for new roles. So you see what it is. This is the roadmap. This is the workflow for this particular company. It's just an easy way to where you can get in, get your experience, and then grow. Another one is an IM business analyst. This is paying between 40 and 60 an hour. This is a contract role. And this job description is not even technical. It's a business analyst position to where you're working closely with stakeholders, you're documenting things, conducting like analysis, creating like detailed maps and documentations, identifying gaps and inefficiencies. So it's almost just like you're a consultant in a sense. You're collaborating with technical teams, preparing reports. I mean, and even though this is an analyst role, look at what it's paying. It's between 40 and 60 an hour, and it's a 2-month contract, but they still have to train you on this. Every job is going to have HR onboarding training, and then they're going to have on the job training to be sure that they're in compliance and to make sure you fully understand what you're doing before you actually perform the duties. Some of those are a bit shorter in the time span when we're talking about the senior level roles or even the architecture level roles, if that makes sense. So, what I'm saying is that to get into identity and access management, it doesn't even require a ton of years. I've known people that got into it with no years of experience. They had a solid resume. They focus on gaining certifications and projects, and that's what I see in my private social media, and also what I help people out as well on the side. And I can definitely help you get this career if it interests you. All right. So let me know. We can set up a 1-on-one. I'll do a consultation with you. We'll talk shop, talk business. And I look forward to hearing from you guys to see what you think. This is Penn sign out. Thank you for watching and take care. Goodbye.